So welcome to episode 2 of Mini Mental Health Moments, and in the car today we have I'm going to say good friend because we've known each other a few years now, entrepreneur, businessman, I won't say influencer, but a social media presence, Paul Stenson, and we went from Ashburn to Achill to do this interview. So we're here, we're going to get the ball rolling, and we're going to take it very casual, bit of crack, good bit of fun, and see what happens.
And I'm going to bring Mark to the most picturesque beach in all of the world, I think.
And I can't
Kim
wait.
Bay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and we'll stop for a coffee on the way.
For the viewer, because I know a lot of your story and I follow you a while now and we know each other a while. Who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
Who am I? That's the existential question of the moment, isn't it? Who am I? I don't know who I am, to be honest with you, myself. Never mind the followers or the people watching it. So Paul Stenson is my name. I'm a 42-year-old man who still doesn't know where his life is going.
Okay.
I really don't. I'm playing it by ear pretty much. I'm winging it, Mark. But I'm in recovery, so I'm an alcoholic, stroke addict, and everything is about living in the moment and taking it day by day. So I don't plan too far ahead. I live, I know that we're doing this interview now, or this chat, but in an hour's time I haven't a clue what I'm doing. And really I'm a believer in, here we are sitting in this super cool Mini Cooper, driving through Achill with the sheep, eating the lawn, and this is all we have in life. It's the here and now.
Yeah.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. This is it. This is it. I guess people would know me because I suppose I speak the truth. And sometimes what I say can travel far because I'm honest. I suppose honesty in the year 2022, sometimes your honesty needs to be suppressed so that you don't offend somebody somewhere on the world. And but I kind of stick to my guns, and I believe it's the individuals in this world who create change, and I think embracing your difference is important. Owning your difference, whether that's because you're in recovery or whether you're adopted, which I also am, and I'm also of the homosexual variety, Mark. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay. Well, not everybody knows that because
and that's why we're here, to get to know you better. A few really important bits you touched on there. There's actually a lot to unravel there, but one of the first things you said was you don't know what you're doing in an hour. But from the outside looking in, and this is one of the issues I have with social media, which has an impact on people's mental health, is a lot of people might look at you and say, okay, all these amazing dogs, amazing businesses, he seems great online, but sometimes it's not all it's made out to be, in a type of way, because people compare to others, and that's kind of where the downfall is, with the term comparison is the thief of joy. And for example, when you mentioned there, you suffered with addiction and you've been through your own battles, a lot of people watching this won't have known that. They might just look at, well, that's Paul Stenson, the guy on Instagram, great marketer, really good businesses, but they may not know what you've been through.
If we pare it back and unpack it, back to my roots, and the fact I said I was adopted, and that's not a secret, because I don't hide that, and I speak about it quite a lot. But I think that anybody who's adopted might have issues with rejection, and they might strive for acceptance more so than other people. So maybe what I'm doing online by putting out this is I'm trying to get people to accept me. Are you with me on that? Yeah, so one of my questions, sorry to interrupt, but was, do you think your mental health struggles have impacted your need to succeed in business, but also to be kind of seen online? I think that one of the drivers of my anxiety, because I'm on antidepressants now for both anxiety and depression and OCD. Yeah. But I think that certainly having a profile like that, when people know you, I think it really creates social anxiety. Because then there's part of me who kind of says, Paul, will you relax? You're not that famous, who do you think you are, kind of thing. You're just a cafe owner or an entrepreneur. Get away out of that. And there's a sense that, maybe I step out of line in some aspect of my life, and it's not a huge deal, really. Yeah. But people online will latch on and think, look at Paul Stenson, look at what he did there. He's a whatever, and all these names are put out there. Yet in real life, if you're mated, that is
Yeah.
But because he's a known personality who's maybe successful, it's like he's the worst person in the world.
So I have a question, and it kind of pops to mind in the sense that if you're like a chronic overthinker, you're like social anxiety, okay? And time again, you've gone viral online for stuff that maybe was, well, kind of guerrilla marketing type tactics, but also like a lot of fun. And obviously there's some people who take it up the wrong way. Would a part of you be thinking, well, I don't want to do this kind of marketing anymore because people take it up the wrong way every time, and they think, well, look at this idiot, look at this asshole. He's not letting vegans, or he's doing this, he's pulling this stunt again. Would that make you more kind of socially anxious, or do you do it because you genuinely love the kind of, let's see how viral we can go here, because this is what marketing's all about?
Outrage marketing is a coin I termed for what I do. It's like based on the premise that, you know, somebody somewhere will get offended to something I say, and when they become offended, they then loudly speak about how bad I am, particularly in the comments section, which adds to the organic reach of the post, and then the post goes completely viral, and the more people giving out about it, the faster it spreads because they share it and say how terrible I am, and I can't change that.
Yeah.
That's how you know the whiteness.
Yes, absolutely.
Do I ever feel guilty that maybe I've hurt anybody? Well, my answer to that is offence is taken, not given. I have never actually gone out of my way to willfully cause offence to anybody.
I feel like you shouldn't feel guilty whatsoever, because you're not out there doing anything to harming anyone.
Yeah.
But in the sense that if people are getting offended and it's out of control, in my mind I'd be like, well, I mightn't share this, because if someone gets offended, I might feel more socially anxious while I'm out there.
No, it is the price you have to pay within an outrage marketing strategy. That will be people. Sorry, I'll just switch off my phone here because it's beeping, and that's Mom calling there. Doesn't she pick the best time? Will I answer her quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
We keep rolling.
Yeah.
Well, everyone loves Mom. I'm just in an interview at the moment.
Oh, all right. I'll talk later.
You have a terrible habit of doing this. The last time I was doing a podcast, you walked in on it too.
Sorry.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you? We're okay. How are you?
Do you miss me?
Well, we miss hearing anything from you. I haven't got a photograph of the dog since you went back, and we miss that, yeah.
Okay, I'll send you a photo of the dogs later on in the evening.
But how are you getting on, and what are you doing?
I'm doing an interview at the moment. In a car.
In a car? Is it an interesting one?
Well, it involves me, so probably not very interesting.
Okay, well look, carry on, but I'd love if you could be in touch just a little bit to let us know how you are and how the dogs are.
Okay, I will. I'll give you a call after the show.
Okay.
Bye now.
To talk to you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. That was really in line with what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Will we go in here and get a coffee?
We will.
Are they still open?
We will. I think they are, yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful cloud picker coffee here. I know you switched it off.
I haven't switched it off yet.
Cloud picker coffee, the best in the West.
We were speaking about the universal laws of attraction, your previous struggles with addiction, and I think that might be, if you're comfortable enough to touch on that, one to talk about, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are suffering, or who are in recovery, or who kind of might be in a place where they don't know how to even approach recovery. Was there a point in time where you realized, okay, this is my mental health, there's something not right here, and did that lead to addiction?
There are certain schools of thought that say that people in addiction, the reason they're in addiction is because of trauma that took place in early life. In my situation, I was adopted at 5 weeks of age by my mum and dad. I call them mum and dad because they are mum and dad. I'm not saying biological or adoptive, or they're mum and dad.
Yeah.
The first 5 weeks of my life, I was born in the St. Patrick's Mother and Baby Home on the Navan Road. there's no doubt in my mind that for those first 5 weeks there was some shit going on, you know, and I'm sure that has been part of my madness today. And I don't mean madness in a bad way.
Yeah.
As Robin Williams said, we're all given a little bit of madness, never lose it. How did my addictions manifest itself? Well, very, very easy. When I started, I couldn't stop. So with me, like, you know, I'd have one pint and then I'd get the buzz, and it's like, I need another. And I'd have another, and then I'd get more of a buzz, and then I'd need this buzz to intensify. And then once I'd reach a certain level of drunkenness, I'd be like, oh, I need more, and I'd be looking for coke, or I'd be looking for pills, or I'd be looking for whatever, and I'd never be able to reach that
The high you were looking for.
Yeah, or the escape that I was looking for. There was also a lot of shame surrounding my homosexuality. I didn't really want to. I didn't come out until I was 26, 27. But what I do is I'd get out of my mind on drink to be able to have the strength to go into the George or go into the Dragon or any of these gay bars. My friends were straight, so in college, you know, we'd go out in Dublin and I'd go missing at 1 a.m. after having, 7 or 8 pints. I'd be at the level of drunkenness I needed to be to have the courage to go into a gay bar, then I'd go missing.
Question that pops to my mind there, and because you were adopted at a very young age, and you said like there might be kind of like feelings of wanted to be like wanted, let's say. For lack of a better phrase, like you might feel like you're abandoned as a young child.
Rejected, yeah.
Rejected. Would like alcohol and drugs, were they like a form of self-medicating for something that you didn't know you were feeling?
Possibly. It's a subconscious thing, and alcohol and drugs were getting me away from the reality of the situation.
Was there a point in time where you're like, right, I need to change this, and I need to try kick the drugs, the drinking, and I need to try change my lifestyle?
It was, yeah, but unfortunately it hasn't all been plain sailing, and kind of, you know, there's been various different events that happened throughout my life where I just said to myself, yeah, like I have to nip this in the bud, this can't go on anymore. My life has been kind of a roller coaster of, you know, recovery, active addiction, recovery, active addiction. As recently as last Christmas, I was in active addiction, and I didn't make my Christmas dinner on Christmas Day with my parents because I was horizontal on the couch. So it's as recent as that. January, February, March were not good months for me. I started on my medication, my sertraline, on the 3rd of February. And with any kind of antidepressants, you kind of get worse before you get better. And you know, that did happen for me. Like the first month was hell. Then I got to the point where, you know, I said to myself in April, right, I'm going to go down to Achill, and I don't know when I'm going to come back.
You made a really good, important point there, especially for someone who may be going through what you've experienced and what you do experience, that it's a roller coaster. It's not linear, it's not simple, okay, I'm going to kick this and then it's gone. So if someone is suffering and going through this, what piece of advice would you give them?
Live in the moment. And one of my issues was, oh, if I give up, right, it would feel great today, but like there's a wedding I have to go to next month. How can I go to that and not drink? You know? Or what happens when it's Paddy's Day? I mean, what, am I going to drink tea at the bar? And there was all these kind of, I was thinking way ahead. But if you bring it back to the moment, to now, I'm happy now. I don't count the days anymore.
Okay.
I don't know when I last had my last, because you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's about today. I'm not racing with anybody.
Yeah.
Just because somebody is sober for 10 years, it's great. I'm delighted for them. But it's not about them. And I don't think it's a badge of honour to say I'm clean a year or 2 months or 5 years. It's a badge of honour to say that for today I'm clean.
Yeah.
You know? And that's one thing I would say to people.
What healthy habits or routines do you have for your mental health?
So I suffer from depression and anxiety, social anxiety disorder, OCD, the list goes on. I'm a walking mess, one might say. I find that and this is what my addiction counsellor says to me, Paul, if you have ways to keep yourself plugged in, that will keep the addictions at bay, but it will also keep the mental health well. The way I keep plugged in is I do my weekly counselling session.
Yep.
I try to get to the gym 3 times a week. I do a bit of meditation. I walk the dogs. And all of these different things, keep me plugged in so that I don't fall off the wagon.
Like a mental health checklist, nearly.
Kind of, yeah.
You kind of have like, okay, here's my steps.
If I'm doing that, and if I'm doing that and that, I'm good. My addictions are at bay, and my depression is all right.
And I'm sure you may get this a lot in interviews, or maybe you haven't, but it's, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
Follow your heart. Don't be going down the route of security because your parents are involved in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
Go down the route of your dream. Life is very, very short. 42 years have gone like that for me. Rather than following the route of security, follow the route of happiness. Do what you want, not what you think is safe.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. I was rehearsing that for hours.
Robbed this from a podcast, the Stephen Bartlett podcast, where he gets the guest in, so he'll get a guest to ask the question for the next guest. So I had Dara Fleming give me a question to ask you, but he didn't know who the guest was. His question was, do you do anything obscure that maybe people don't know that helps with your mental health?
Patricia wants to take. We're still in the middle of an interview. But we'll come back in a minute. To sleep better at night, I listen to what's called sleep sounds on Alexa.
Okay.
And it's really, really good. It's quite obscure. But I listen to a thunderstorm on Alexa every night when I go to bed. And I sleep like a baby. Because sleep is very important as well. So I go to bed and I say, Alexa, play sleep sounds. And then she does this. Okay. Dun dun dun. Welcome to Sleep Sounds. What sound would you like? And I say, distant thunderstorm. Okay, here's distant thunderstorm. And then you hear raining pelting on a roof, and you hear cracks of thunder. My sleep is so much better for it. Genuinely, it's weird. So that is my obscure. That is my obscure help.
Now, because it's basically come to an end, you have to pose a question to the next guest. You can ask literally any question under the sun. It doesn't have to be mental health related. It doesn't have to be business related. It can be, what did you have for breakfast today? But it just goes into the book, and then I ask the next guest.
I'd probably say something. I think that, mental health is hugely important nowadays. Depression is very, very real, and lots of people have it. But I'd also, think that we live in a day and age where binge drinking and taking lots of drugs is very much part of how we go about our lives nowadays. If drink and drugs didn't exist in the social scene in Ireland, would there be as many mental health issues as there are?
That's a great question.
Well, I don't know if it is. It's probably not.
No, I do think it is, because if I answer it, we're going to sit here for another hour talking, so I'm going to leave it for the next guest.
Yeah.
But it's a really good question, because there's so many arguments. I think alcohol's in our culture, I think people say. I don't agree with binge drinking. I worked in the alcohol industry, so I do enjoy going out for drinks with my friends.
So it's a debate.
It is, because
this sparks a debate.
It's a good social outlet on that side.
Blows off steam.
Yeah, but at the same time, obviously the day after, when you're hungover to bits and you're coming down from the night before, and everything in between, if people are taking drugs and they're coming down off the high, it's detrimental to your mental health. Because you're tired, you're dehydrated, you're coming down off a high, and the world is against you. You have that anxiety.
You have the fear.
The fear is right.
You know, there's pros and cons with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything in moderation, so they say.
Including moderation.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much for coming on. I think
Ackle.
that was brilliant. Ackle was absolutely deadly. Yes. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.
We'll end it there. Tune in. Well, this will be out and about soon, but tune in. Episode 3 will be very soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening wherever you are. Thanks to Paul for coming on. And until next time, mini mental health moments.